What is going on YouTube? Hitterbag making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the S&P 500, as well as a few different exchanges that I do like to use on the channel. Specifically in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the crazy stuff that's happening right now within the market. As you guys remember, yesterday's video, I talked about why analysts are starting to believe that the markets are bound to, and destined almost to pop in price. And what's interesting to me is the fact that we've been doing some technical analysis on the channel, and we've actually discovered a very interesting pattern that formed on most of these cryptocurrencies that I don't think people have noticed. And with that comes some huge investing possibilities to basically capitalize on these massive movements happening not only within XRP, but the market as a whole. So if you guys want to learn more about this, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me over there. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. All right, guys, so huge, shout out to you guys for getting me to 18.1K subscribers and yesterday's video hitting 2K views. That is absolutely incredible. Huge shout out to you guys for helping me. And while I'm shouting people out, I want to give another shout out to today's sponsor, which is Best Change. For those of you that don't know what Best Change is, hopefully you've watched my past couple of videos where I have talked about them in the past. But basically, Best Change is like this sort of Wikipedia for exchanges. For those of you that want to know a little bit more about what I mean, basically instead of just a sole and single exchange like Bityard or like Coinbase Pro, Best Change basically is a conglomerate of hundreds of different exchanges that you guys can use to basically pick the best exchange for not only your coin pair, but the cheapest, fastest prices on the market. So for example, if you guys were to just choose, Dogecoin and you wanted to trade Dogecoin for Bitcoin, you would choose your pair in the list here, and then you can see it shows you the different exchange rates all in a list, and you can see by the reviews it does list them, and you can see Flash OBMEN is 626 reviews, all these different reviews over here, and it basically shows you a list of the different exchanges that are offered for this trading pair. And then it's as simple as clicking on that, which will then bring you to the page where you can actually trade around on that exchange. You can see the pair of Doge to Bitcoin. You can make that pair and basically trade with the cheapest fees. So definitely make sure to check out Best Change. I did link them in the description down below. Once again, huge shout out for them for sponsoring today's episode. Otherwise, to jump right back into today's video, as you guys know, the markets have been going absolutely haywire the past couple of days. As you guys know, also CoinMarketCap did refresh, so we're starting to see basically the 7-day, percentage gains and losses across the board. Bitcoin is only up 3%, Ethereum is down 5%, XRP is down 6%, and we're definitely seeing some pretty crazy things happening within the market right now. So just to jump right into the video, you can see I do have Bityard pulled up right here. This is one of the exchanges that I like to use to buy long, sell short, and create stop losses for cryptocurrency. I do have Bityard pulled up, and we've been basically tracking XRP on the market for a very long time. Now, yesterday we discussed that analysts were starting to believe that if Bitcoin was able to break $14,000, which was one of two resistances being 20,000, we would be able to blast off and pretty much see all-time highs for basically all of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. What's interesting is we've discussed in yesterday's episode a very interesting massive pattern that was forming not only on XRP, but a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Specifically XRP, we saw this massive symmetrical triangle that's formed since basically the beginning of July. It's basically turned out to be this very long symmetrical triangle trending pattern with higher lows, as you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we know, we were talking about the consolidation and the filling the gap pattern that needed to happen for us to basically determine which way this market was going to break. Now, the very interesting thing is just today, when I checked the market this morning, I noticed a few interesting patterns. Not only was Bityard, XRP trading lower, but I also noticed the S&P 500 was going lower as well. Coincidence? I'm not too sure. Definitely make sure to leave a comment down below if you guys have any sort of idea as to whether or not there is some sort of correlation between the economy the US economy, that is, and basically cryptocurrency as a whole. It's interesting. Some people think it would be asymmetric. We'd see a reversal. So if the markets start to move down in the US economy, cryptocurrency would move up. But it seems like right now they're both moving simultaneously together. So what's interesting is we knew that we had a very, very, very strong uptrend support. We also knew that there was a very strong resistance. Basically, what was said in yesterday's episode and a refresh in today's video is if we see any sort of moment where the daily candle on XRP closes below or above resistance or support, we know that is a surefire sign to buy in and either sell short or buy long. Now, the interesting thing that I find most interesting is the fact that we're actually doing the reversal. So instead of us breaking bullish, like analysts were saying, closing above resistance here, we are actually starting to close below this symmetrical triangle. Closing below support does mean that we will be enabling us to be buying in to short the market, which I plan on doing very soon. As you guys can see, it's very easy. I have it set to 20. I can move this up to 25, creating, let's say, a $2,000 buy-in that is for 20,000, over 200,000 XRP tokens for a short, literally just shorting this, clicking sell, and capitalizing off the market going lower. There is one thing that we do have to consider before diving into the market is that we need a confirmation closing. The coin needs to close today's candle below this uptrend for us to make sure that we are heading lower. If we actually recede back up like we're starting to do and close above here, then it is a false flag and we need to wait for more consolidation and more filling of the gap before we make our general decision on whether to buy long or to sell short. So we do have to be patient, but things are looking very nice. The fact that we're finally getting some sort of variable as to which direction the markets are going to be heading. So what's interesting too is now that I show you guys some other things, I also have BitYard linked in the description down below if you guys are interested in making sure you are able to trade on the exchange. They also offer a demo account as well, which is pretty cool. So definitely check that out. But moving forward, you can see XRP is doing that same thing. I do have this pattern pulled up right now. This is the Bitfinex XRP to US dollar. So as BitYard is USDT, the exchange that I have pulled up on TradingView is to US dollar. So USDT to US dollar are two different things for those that don't know. One is Tether, a stable token in the crypto space, and US dollar is obviously the US market. So the very interesting thing now is we see the bearish cross. So on the MACD, we have a bearish cross right here, which is a reversal signal. We're also seeing a shooting star doji that is forming right here. This looks like a more or less like a cross doji, which is interesting too. But ultimately, we are right now just above support. You can see we have our uptrend here, downtrend here. We're literally trading just above support and below our moving averages. There is definitely some massive signs showing that we could start to see this reversal happen. And I do have to refresh the TV before it, cancels us out. If this lets me, boom, there we go, just to keep that logo up there. But ultimately, we're looking to see whether or not we are going to close below this uptrend, or are we going to break above here and, close below it or above it. That's pretty much the deciding factor. Are we going to be closing below the uptrend, or are we going to be closing above the uptrend, trading into more consolidation? We know that if we see any confirmation of a daily candle that closes above resistance, it's a buy and long, expecting to see a bullish break. We know if we close below this uptrend right here, we know that we're going to short the market in anticipation for a correction to the downside. So it's really just a waiting game right now, guys, as to which direction this market wants to move to. But right now it's showing some huge signs of correction to the downside. So we just have to be patient and see which direction this wants to close before we buy in. Now, moving on, you can see Ethereum clearly getting rejected off of here, getting extremely close to seeing what could be another MACD reversal right here, a bearish cross, as we start to get rejected not only from this ascending triangle, but from resistance here, and we start to slowly move downwards. Now, Bitcoin's doing its own thing, obviously bouncing off the overbought line. I mean, this coin just needs to be, reduced. Prices do need to drop. It's interesting to see that the fact that it's trading so high up, even in an overbought market. So that's extremely interesting. I'm kind of steering away from Bitcoin right this second. My focus right now is on XRP due to the fact that it's not overbought at all. The fact is, why buy into an overbought market when you can buy into one that's consolidating? It makes more sense to do that. More money to be invested, less risk as a conservative trader. We're also going to look at Litecoin really quickly, which is clearly showing huge uncertainty in the market after seeing a massive reversal outside of its, overbought market. We're starting to slowly climb back down with a ton of uncertainty to its moving average. The last thing I want to talk about is the S&P 500. This is huge and this is critical. So a lot of people people on the videos, when I talk about the S&P 500, have mentioned the fact that it looks like a, cup and handle formation is happening. Now, I personally believe this is more of a double top formation, and we've pretty much exited the cup and handle. This is what a cup and handle would appear to be, and then it usually triggers a bullish break to the upside outside of the cup and handle. But ultimately, my decision and my reasoning for being that this looks more like a double top is the fact that this cup and handle formed so high and so aggressive to the top, it merely shows signs of reversal. The fact that we've had a massive 11-year uptrend right here, where every single time we hit this white uptrend, it usually triggers a reversal to the downside over and over and over again. The fact that we formed some sort of, cup and handle formation at the top resistance here is a sign that it doesn't really want to break higher. We've seen the uncertainty. We've seen the rejection from this resistance. The market does not want to go that much higher, especially with a massive correction that we just had. Why would we continue to pump higher? Now, just to show you a price range, we literally shot up from back in March all the way up 64%, a 64% jump if you bought in the, I think this is the beginning of March. Oh, sorry, the end of March. So since the end of March, 64% jump. We have been so bullish, parabolically bullish the past couple of months, and it almost makes no sense for us to continue to go up higher, which was why my reasoning was for us to reject lower, form a double top, and then, climb lower. And that's why I actually sold out of my, Roth IRA. The money's still in the Roth, but I'm waiting to buy back in at lower prices. Fortunately, can't short the market. Otherwise, I would have. But as of right now, I do believe that we're going to continue to break lower. This is pretty much where everybody's kind of sitting at and waiting for a movement to happen. The fact is we need to break this neckline. If we can break this neckline, get a closure candle below the neckline right here, everybody's going to know that the market's going to jump to the downside. They know it's going to drop. They know it's going to reverse very quickly, very rapidly. So it's really just a waiting game. I'm sure all of the traders right now are, zoned into the computer. But basically, my theory and my logic is in a correction. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Once again, huge shout out for Best Change for sponsoring today's episode. Definitely make sure if you're new to the channel to subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow me on Twitter, CryptoBeOfficial, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.